Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. My name is Imran Nadir. Today I'm excited and overwhelmed, and I think it's normal feeling when you meet your mentor, like someone you have been following for so long. This episode is special to me, and the guest today is in top 1% of marketeers. It's none other than the great Dennis Yu,
An
someone who's
honor.
worked with global brands like Nike and the Golden State Warriors, but now he spends most of the time helping like local service businesses like plumbers, HVAC, and roofers win online. Dennis
Yeah.
is the CEO of Blitz Metrics and Local Service Spotlight. And what I respect most about his work is that he cuts through the noise. No hype, no vanity metrics, just visibility, trust, and system that actually drive calls and revenue. If you are a business owner or an agency confused about SEO, Google Ads, Google Maps, or AI, this conversation will bring a bit of clarity. Welcome, Dennis, to the Marketist podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out to share valuable insights.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, congratulations. You just hit 1 million YouTube views in just about 4 months, mainly by
Yeah.
focusing on local service content, which mostly we cannot achieve. So, my first question would be around that. What did you do differently this time compared to like how most businesses approach YouTube? What is that biggest mistake local businesses or small agencies like us make when they try YouTube but give up too early and cannot reach the level you have?
Well, the first 3 seconds, I say exactly who it's for and what the reason is to watch. Most people, they never do that. The beginning of their podcast, beginning of their video, you need to say, this plumber paid $20,000 for a website and got no SEO out of it. This is what happened, and this is how we fixed it, right? Then it's very clear. Every video has
So,
to start with that initial hook saying who it's for, and you have to earn their attention.
So it is like a case study type content mostly,
Yeah, because it's
right?
real information. Otherwise, you could just have ChatGPT write articles. ChatGPT can say the 10 ways on how to optimize Facebook ads in 2026. Like that content is generic. It's not. It's not from your experience. There's no reason for anyone to listen to you unless you talk about your experiences, the people that you know, the things that you have done. Right? That's real.
And also one more thing which I've been experiencing, a lot of people have started talking about niches, and you have been focused like long ago. Now people have that started, but you have been focused long ago, right? So that is
Yeah.
one factor as well. So you have worked with enterprise brands and now focus heavily on local businesses, right?
Yeah.
And what made you shift? What do local businesses get wrong that big brands don't? And what is that first thing you notice when a local business is failing online?
Well, the first real client I had was Quiznos, and they had 5,300 locations. And we had Starbucks, we had Ashley Furniture, we had the Nike stores. These guys like State Farm, 20, 30,000 locations. And we learned how to do that with billions of dollars of money, right? Huge departments, multi agencies, very sophisticated, very political, covering not just like Google My Business and one website, but many brands. Like from a Nike, it wasn't just a central Nike. We had what we called the footprint. So from the central Nike, we had Nike basketball, football, baseball, golf, all the, and then within that, the different teams, and then the different athletes, and then the different regions. So you could have Nike, basketball, Japan, and on Twitter. And then here's an athlete, right? So you can imagine this whole ecosystem of thousands of brands, thousands of channels, because each of these brands or entities has a Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, website, Instagram, and whatnot. And we learned how to do that at, I think, arguably the most complex scale that, well, Facebook has told us and Google has told us. No one, they've never seen anyone else put together these kinds of portfolios to even do the analytics against that. And so we learned a lot from sandwich stores and furniture stores and sports stores and dentists and whatnot. And my vision has always been to create jobs. And I think about when I started off in digital marketing and how I had a mentor and he taught me. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't, I mean, I couldn't learn it in school. I couldn't learn it by watching YouTube videos, right? And I thought, how do I make that happen at scale? Well, the easiest way to do that is to have lots and lots of local service businesses. Because in every neighborhood, there is a plumber, an electrician, someone who takes care of the pest control, a painter, an electrician, a real estate agent, right? A coffee shop, all these different places. If I wanted to make money, Imran, what I would have done, I would have stayed in e-commerce. I would have taken a couple brands and taken them from, 50 million to 500 million or something like that, and then get a little piece, which I've done several times, which is great. But that doesn't allow you to build a team. That doesn't give you the opportunity to do it for lots of people. And because I want to see lots of people succeed, sort of like my extended family, the best way to do that, which is not the most profitable for me, is to create opportunities where tens of thousands of people can win, because each of these young adults, young is dependent on your age, your ability to learn, can adopt businesses in their town, or they can focus just on roofers, for example. My buddy Ethan Vandehei, he started with me 5 years ago, and the company that he's at, he grew from 45 million to 65 million last year because he ran their marketing. Infinity Exteriors, you can see he's got a podcast. He's got two podcasts, right? And I just love seeing people like Ethan, right? Danny Liebrandt, he started out as a nobody and didn't know anything about podcasting or whatever. He's very smart, very motivated, but didn't really have any direction. And I told him, you should start a podcast and you should pick a niche, like you said. And he chose pest control. There's nothing special about pest control versus HVAC versus being an electrician versus concrete floors. I mean, there's so many different niches you can choose, right? But he decided he would become the pest control guy. And now Danny Liebrandt, he authored the best-selling book in pest control SEO. If you type in pest control SEO into Google, he's number one. He's well known at Pest World, which is the big conference. He's got a big podcast. He's a joint owner at a $30 million a year company. He's interviewed all the top names in digital. And this is starting from being a nobody. But I love seeing people like Danny, for example, or Ethan, or I can name all these other folks. And it's just very fulfilling. It's like having kids, and seeing them win, or they kick the soccer goal and I feel like I scored too. So for me, that's what's meaningful, not like, can I make an extra $1 million doing something, right?
That is truly wonderful, and I really appreciate what you're doing. So another question is, you often say most businesses don't have a marketing problem, they have a visibility problem. What
Yeah.
are the two, three top visibility signals Google and AI trust today for local businesses?
Well, the number one signal is behavioral. So they want to see actual traffic. So if you're a local business, they can see, because on your phone, if you're using Google Maps, they can see if people are navigating there. They can see if people are buying. They can see if people are generating quotes. They can see if people are watching your videos on YouTube. They can see if you're engaging on Facebook. And those signals of real users engaging count way more than any fancy SEO. Or I met with this guy, Rob, this morning, and he's a roofer. Yeah, he's a roofer in Sugarland, Texas. And I think it's Ace Construction Services is his company. And he paid somebody $20,000 to build this website. And supposedly this agency, who I know, I'm not going to name them, they're supposedly really good, and this guy trusted, because how is he going to know? And the website in the last 6 months has gotten zero traffic, it ranks on zero keywords, and is driving zero phone calls. And I explained to Rob why. And anyone who privately wants to see, you can join our group. We record all the Zoom calls, right? We share them. We want everyone to learn. And I explained very simply to him, and he understood, which is, oh, well, what is Google looking for? If I'm a roofer and I'm in Sugarland, Texas, and I'm in Katy, I'm in Houston, I'm in other areas, suburbs of Houston, and my crews are going out and taking pictures and encouraging customers to leave reviews. And when I'm having my morning coffee, I say, hey, I really like drinking my coffee at this Starbucks in the morning. And here's Maggie, and she's such a good, she makes my coffee every morning. Or, whatever it is, all these little stories that humanize, that show real experience, that show that you actually are a plumber in Katy, Texas. And Google can see that because of the YouTube traffic, because of people searching on Google Maps, because of people coming to the website, because of social media traffic, because of reviews, because of all these signals say this guy is a legitimate roofer in Houston, Texas, right? Versus you send a bunch of traffic from Pakistan. Well, what do you think that's going to fool
Useless.
Google, right? Oh, but we mask the IP address and we have different ways to try to trick Google into thinking that it's legitimate because we make it behave differently if it's Mac versus Windows, and we don't have them all stay exactly 2 minutes on the website. Sometimes it's a minute 59, sometimes it's 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And, we have all these complex ways of basically tricking Google, right? Like,
Yes.
I'm sure it works right now, but I guarantee you, because I've seen the bodies the last 30 years, right? Every time
So
they come and they say they have a trick, and I'm like, okay, let's see how long your trick lasts. We'll watch.
mm, obviously, the fundamentals will never change, I think, and I believe in it. And tricks don't work. They are just like, delaying tactics, nothing else. So,
Right.
yeah, if a plumber or HVAC business isn't ranking on Google Maps, right? So, what is the
Yeah.
first thing you fix as a pro, like reviews, content, Google Business Profile, or links, or what do most people waste time on
None
instead?
of those.
What do you?
None of those.
None
The
of
the
those.
number one thing we fixed, that there's three stages. So the first stage is we want the foundational elements to be correct, the structure to be correct, right? So that means their Google Business Profile with the categories that they serve and their service areas and descriptions of the services they have has to tie with the website. And things like name, address, and phone, which is like the skeleton, the the rebar of the big building,
Structure,
right? The,
yeah.
the the structure has to tie together,
Hmm.
and often the name is not exactly the same, or they have several locations, but there's an old location that was closed, or the opening hours are not the same, or the one that we looked at this morning, his website said, "Oh, we have 46 reviews on Google," and then I went to the site and it said 56. I'm like, you need, the bottom of the website said copyright 2022. I'm like, come on, we're okay, if it said 2025 and it's 2026 now, okay. It's like having your Christmas lights up when it's February. Like, you need to, fix this thing. So,
Yeah.
first thing is the foundational layer, right? That means
Mhm.
claiming their name on Quora and Instagram and Reddit and Snapchat and Grokpedia, which I've done videos on, which is going to be stronger than Wikipedia. All these different places. And all of those things, if those structural components aren't there, then if you put the content, think of it as like the meat on the bone, right? If the skeleton isn't right, it doesn't matter how much muscle and tendon, it's just not going to work if you have broken bones. So structure's correct. Then you have to have content that supports those location service pages. So if I'm Dr. Hugh Flax and I'm a cosmetic dentist in Atlanta, Georgia, then I need to show evidence of the different cosmetic procedures. So this guy, he is branded as the Smile Architect. Well, then Smile Architect needs to show up all over in his books, in his interviews, in his Google Business Profile, in reviews. All these people need to say, Dr. Hugh Flax, Smile Architect. Smile Architect, he came in, my teeth were crooked and yellow, and and he fixed it. He showed me the 3D software that showed me what my mouth could look like with this style versus that style. Here's my current mouth, and here's this. And he did a very artistic job, right? And now I'm more confident. I'm better in business. I don't hide my teeth when I go to a wedding, because I don't want people to see my bad teeth, right? And so if you have a lot of stories like Dr. Hugh does, then that kind of authority can be stacked on top of the structure. When we started with Dr. Hugh, he didn't have these other components. He just had a website, and the website had all generic stock art garbage. It was AI written. The agency claimed it wasn't AI written, but it was obviously AI written. These people cheat. You don't ask a cheater, did you cheat? They'll lie to you, right? So the
Yes.
structure, then the content, and on top of the content, then we need to get traffic. And that's where dollar a day, that's where local service ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Angie's List, whatever the different ways, email marketing, text message marketing, yard signs, TV ads, all of these different channels bring traffic to that content that links back to the actual business and the owner, which is the entity, right? The entity of the business owner, the entity of the location, the entity of that business, the entity of all the related businesses that they work with. Plumbers work with electricians, and they work with roofers, they work with landscapers. All these guys, they all work together. The real estate agent sells a house, then that guy wants to remodel, needs a new painting, so oh, I know a painter, right? There's a lot of this referral that naturally happens. And if the
So,
entities are set properly, then when we work on one client or one of the young adults who runs it, where I coach a lot of agencies, right? And so these young adults running their agencies, when they help their client in that neighborhood, then they're able to help all the other people too. Because when the signal's stronger for that one roofer, like Ethan Vandehei has, then that roofer is interviewing other roofers. That roofer is connecting with other people in that town or another town, right? And so everyone wins together because the trust signal. Some people say just sell the links. No, they should be real. It should be like, we're doing a podcast here. That can be repurposed in many ways that strengthens the signals, the content that tie back to the structural foundation of that entity. Like the entity, your Marketist podcast, right? That's an entity. You have lots of other people you've had on the podcast. Those should all be connected together. Obviously, you publish on all the podcasting platforms, but you also publish to YouTube, and you create a dedicated web page, not just a summary of what happened or a show notes, but a legitimate blog post, right? From that video that embeds the YouTube video. A description of the YouTube video should include the URL of the article. The article should embed the YouTube video, right? It's stuff like that.
Yeah. So I was discussing with you. I had just shared with you that I'm already doing it. Hopefully, it will give the positive results in
Yeah.
searches and wonderfully explain the structure. Literally, a lot of people, fail at that point and expect different results. At other people are like here and they are expecting results of here. So this
Yeah.
is failing. If we fix this, they will automatically get the results. So about dollar strategy, you always
Yeah.
talk about it. And I'm fan of it.
Mhm.
It's just one confusion about this thing is that whenever I go dollar a day, like I'm running ads, for example, if I'm a plumber or
Yeah.
HVAC, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go running ad dollar a day on Meta and dollar a day on Google Ads. So what
Yep.
should be like the type of the campaign? Is it going to be awareness campaign or what exactly should I
Do
go
all
with? Like,
three. You do awareness, consideration, and conversion because that's the funnel. Those are the different stages where people are making decisions. So dollar a day helps you test out those creatives, and then once you're able to get their attention, because most creators are now video. So dollar a day tells us do people even stay past the first 3 seconds? If they don't stay past the first 3 seconds of the video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or X or wherever you put, TikTok. I have the best-selling book on TikTok ads. Then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good your offer is. Doesn't matter how good the camera and your copy. If you don't get their attention in the first 3 seconds, right? So dollar a day allows you to be able to test for $7, which is $1 a day for 7 days. You spend $7 to test one creative to quickly find out, does it even get people's attention or not? And if it doesn't, then stop, right? A lot of people, they just continue to try to force it. Oh, if I put $1,000 in this ad campaign, maybe then it'll start to convert. Like, if it's not working, even, it might hurt your ego because you thought, oh, this is a really good idea. For sure, people are going to like this one. No, let the data tell you. And then
exactly.
you can start to do $10 a day. You can start to do $50 a day if you're able to capture their attention. And now you're optimizing to conversion rate. You're looking at cost per conversion over lifetime value, right? So we know that roof repair is a lot cheaper than roof replacement, right? Because a roof repair might only be $1,000 and a roof replacement might be $15,000. So of course, proportionately, roofers are paying, they're bidding higher on replacement. Well, if we know that, then we can bid appropriately. So just because I can get leads cheaper on a particular keyword or not doesn't mean it's better because I'm still looking at the lifetime value, right? So my cost of acquisition over my lifetime value is kind of like an ROAS, right? But most roofers don't know that. They don't even know what a target ROAS is. Most of the marketers and the PPC people, they don't connect to the CRMs like the Service Titans and Jobber and other where the money is, like QuickBooks. They don't connect to that. They just look inside PPC or Facebook. How much engagement? How many views? Lowest cost per click? Lowest cost per lead? Yeah. So what? So what if I'm able to take the cost per lead from $100 to $70 for an HVAC guy? Do I see more revenue? Right. And when we send, are those leads any good? When we send a technician out to do a quote, does that result in a job? Is it because we gave them a bad lead, or is it because their technician or the salesperson, the call center didn't answer the phone, or the technician didn't do a good job diagnosing and closing, right? Or didn't charge the right number, right? There's so many different factors beyond what a digital marketer would look at in terms of pure content creation and social media and PPC management.
Wonderful. You just explained, I was just confused before. Now I have got clarity. I hopefully
It's
all the people
simple.
who,
Yeah, I've been doing the
yeah,
same
it's
thing for
simple.
30 years. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It's like it hasn't changed. It's not going to change. When there's a new social network, people every couple of years there's a new social network, people get crazy about it. And then they realize, you know what? It's actually the same fundamentals because
Yeah,
it's still people making decisions and the human brain makes that. That's why, Imran, when you run ads, you probably noticed when you run ads on Google or on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on TikTok or anywhere, and you come in and you set up your initial account or you set up your initial campaigns, they give you a choice. Is it awareness, consideration, or conversion? Every single network gives you that same choice, those same words: awareness, consideration, conversion. Why? Is it because they're
yes,
copying each other? No, it's because that's human psychology, because they need to know, like, and trust you. They need to respect your values, see that you can answer and solve their problems, and then they respond to your offer, right? Top, middle, bottom of the funnel. It
exactly.
doesn't matter. I
So
don't care if it's TikTok or it has nothing to do with TikTok or LinkedIn or Facebook or local service ads or any of that.
wonderful. You just explained the IDA model the best way I could ever watch. Seriously.
Yeah, it's IDA. There's so many different versions of IDA. Like awareness, interest, desire, action. It's all the same, right? It's
Yes.
like dating,
The
the relationship till you get married. Whatever the you want to call the funnel, right?
Wonderful. So
Yeah.
another question is, how should business owners think differently about SEO now that AI and entity-based search are becoming,
That's all
dominant?
nonsense. All that entity AI, GEO, all the AI SEO is all nonsense. Danny Sullivan, who I've known for 20 something years, who's now kind of like the Matt Cutts, the spokesperson of Google, he said a couple days ago, stop trying to optimize for ChatGPT. Stop trying to like chunk it together. Stop trying to use these tactics that you think are going to somehow cause, you're doing something different for the search engine or doing something different for ChatGPT. Just do that. That's a waste of time, right? It might give you initial advantage, but it eventually gets washed away because as the Google with AI overview, ChatGPT as they're integrating ads, as you saw, all these different changes that you're seeing, they're all relying upon the authentic signal. So Danny Sullivan said, do what you would do to actually convince a human, a potential customer who's on your site, who is like watching your YouTube while they're having breakfast or whatever it is, right? Learning about you. Maybe they're not at the stage of buying yet, but they're doing some research, right? Maybe they just, they're looking at these beautiful houses, right? Maybe one day they're going to want to remodel their house, but right now they're just like watching TV and seeing other people painting redoing the bathroom and look, here's this new kitchen. And right now you're showcasing your work. They're not ready to buy right now. Maybe during, next year they're going to, want to do this whole Valentine's Day makeover, whatever it might be. But we're not doing that for Google. We're not doing that to try to trick ChatGPT, right?
Wonderful.
Because those
Yes.
those engines here sit at a layer above the data that we're consuming. There's agents that sort of act on our behalf, shopping, all that kind of stuff, but they all go back to the same three layers that I mentioned before: the structure of all your stuff, the content, and then getting traffic against it. And then there's sort of a top layer where the AI is kind of evaluating, but we don't need to worry about that. Anyone who
Wonderful.
says they do is trying to sell you something, right?
Exactly. A very good point. Very
Yeah,
valid
so many
point.
scammers, like
So
all these SEO experts, they then social media came out. Now they're influencers. Then crypto
mm,
comes out. Now they're a crypto expert. Now now they're all AEO, GEO, whatever experts, right? Really? Wait, but 3 years ago, weren't you a crypto expert? Wait, 5 years ago, you said you were an influencer. What is it like? What are you going to be 2 years from now, right? When people have,
wonderful.
because in 2 years the hype will go away. People will be tired. Like right now, it's still AI, right? In
Mm,
2 years, it'll be like using electricity, right? Imran, do you talk about like, oh, I love electricity. I'm an expert in using electricity. I use electricity for all the. No, you don't talk about that, right? Look, there's all kinds of electricity here, like lots of
yes.
electricity, right? But I don't talk about that, right? But of
Yes.
course, I'm using. Am I an expert in electricity? You must be an
Yes.
expert in electricity, right? I'm going to write a book on electricity. No, we're all using electricity. We're all breathing oxygen. We're all, using the keyboard. We are all talking to the AI. Like right now, it's very, very cool and hypey. It just makes me mad. all these people that are trying to profit off of the good people. You know, the people in home services, the people in local businesses are just hardworking, good people. And I hate to see them get ripped off by Joshua Crouches and Brandon DeBowers and Tristan Parmleys and all these other people that are out there to scam, you know, who just want to take your money. It's
Yes.
just unbelievable.
I really loved the way you explain things literally. So talking about AI, this is my friend who asked me, okay, if you ever do a podcast with Dennis Yu, this is the question I need you to ask him. So what do you
Okay.
think the role of AI marketing agents in digital marketing? What's your take on it and how Dennis Yu is preparing for that shift?
I'm starting with the fundamentals. I'm not trying to go for the shortcuts because they always go away. It's all about real. Google, when they saw ChatGPT was going to launch, before ChatGPT launched, they said, we're changing our guidelines from EAT to EEAT, right? And they added the extra E for experience, expertise, authority, trust, because the AI could generate, but the AI doesn't have experience. It doesn't have a reputation. It doesn't have stories. It can make up stuff, fiction, hallucination. But like you and I meeting on technically Tuesday, February 3rd, your time, that's a real experience. That's not AI. It's real. It's raw. You can use AI to edit that. But a lot of people they confuse the fact that AI can edit and process versus using it to generate. And I consider generation, which is fiction, that's not if you're doing business, you don't want to play fiction. You want to do real and then use AI as like your marketing team. That's the right way to do it.
Mm, wonderful. So one last question, and it is for the Marketist podcast. If you would name, if you would name just one person who I should invite on my podcast, who would that be?
Oh, invite Jack Went. He's my co-founder for Local Service Spotlight.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dennis. That this was incredibly practical. I wish I had more time. I understand. I totally respect
Hey,
your time
it's the
as well.
first step, right? IDA, right? AIDA. It's the first step. Many
Yes.
steps more,
Yes.
right?
Yes, indeed, indeed. So you have made one thing clear today that marketing is not about tips and tricks, platforms, or spending more money. It's about just
Yeah,
visibility, the foundations, and trust,
yeah,
and doing fundamentals consistently.
yeah.
So
If you're
for
Josh
anyone
Fox,
listening,
you want to rip people off, then do that. But if you're real and your reputation matters, and you're not just trying to make money on the latest thing, be real. Take care of your
yes,
customers. Let your customers talk for you. Use AI to repurpose that content.
yes, for anybody listening, and I'll link Dennis's work and resources below in the description. And if this episode helped you, you can just share with everybody else. And if you ask me one thing, Imran, who is that one person to learn from? I would always say that it's Dennis Yu. So
Oh,
go
thank
subscribe to his channel, follow him on LinkedIn, and ask him the right questions. Do your research, then ask him, and join his Facebook community because I have joined myself. So, Dennis, I appreciate you for sharing the real world insights and thank you for being here.
you. An
I really
honor.
learned a lot from you.
Thank you. And then we'll share this episode when it comes out.
Yes, I will definitely share this episode with you.